A new survey of U.S. employees and employers found 60% of workers say they've experienced burnout. Many employers say they expect workers to be available during off hours. Despite feeling burnout, most workers also say they were at least somewhat happy with their jobs. The pandemic seems to have recalibrated our threshold for that work-life balance.
Sure did. And with more available jobs than workers right now, our Katie Houston found how it's changing the landscape of what going to work looks like and feels like for a lot of us.
Grace, you want your cereal?
Mornings are less stressful now for Bridget Hagan and her family.
You ready, buddy? So I get that extra time to, sit down, have the breakfast, do the hair, not really rush out as much as I used to.
Bridget now works from home. Her company, IKEA Communications, has committed to work from anywhere and flexible hours. Bridget gets to choose how she shapes her time on the clock, whether that's over 4 or 5 days a week.
I'm a morning person, so trying to get work done, be productive, even sometimes before they wake up, to kind of get ahead of my day, so that if I do need to step away for one of the kids, I have that time and that flexibility.
As a working mom, especially a mom with young children, what does that kind of flexibility mean to you from your employer?
It's so important. I can't imagine even getting through the day without having that flexibility. Working somewhere that really values my time both professionally and personally is just so important. And I really feel like my employer, trusts that I will get my work done.
Trust is a big factor.
I talked with IKEA CEO and president, Ben Brugler.
If we're not making it a priority, if we're not modeling it, they're going to think we're trying to trick them.
He says the decision to implement work from anywhere and balance time was driven by IKEA's roughly 40 employees.
People are going to take advantage of this.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't going to be as productive.
Yeah.
We're going to lose business because of this.
All true points. All things that I get asked a lot.
But your experience with it is what?
The opposite.
No change to salaries or hit to productivity. It's been a win-win. He tells me in today's workforce,
burnout's a real thing.
And this has allowed them to attract and retain talent.
We really put the employees first in terms of what's going on in their lives, because if we don't know that, if we're not putting them at the center, we're not able to deliver on our promise to our clients, which is to be their most valuable resource.
It's not just IKEA. Americans have always sought work-life balance. Back in 2018, a survey found fewer than 1 in 5 employers offered remote options, despite it being a top requested perk. Today, that same survey shows more than 2 in 5 now offer it. And more than 80% of workers want flexibility on when and where they work. The pandemic proved productivity can thrive outside the traditional workday and space. And with more available jobs than workers right now, experts tell me more companies are offering these perks to stay competitive.
And because it's a tight labor market, they're able to say to employers, like, I better have that flexibility built in or I'm going to go somewhere else.
I asked Professor Goldberg, should the labor market loosen if it's possible?
These kinds of benefits being rolled back?
He says it's unlikely.
For those company CEOs that are saying everybody needs to come back to the workplace 5 days a week, there's been such tremendous pushback.
For Brugler, he says it's helped him hire and grow business.
Where would we be without balance? In a really unhappy place.
And for employees like Bridget,
this has been huge for mental health, health of my family.
And their ability to grow their family.
Did it have any impact on your guys' decision to have a third?
Yes. Yeah, hugely. Okay, hop in. And I can't imagine, going back to being in an office full time. Okay, take your backpack off, buddy.
Katie Houston, News 5.
And speaking of the changing face of the workplace, a school district in the Cincinnati area will be the first in Ohio to use a blended schedule with just 4 days of in-person learning a week, and students will work from home on their own on Mondays.
Where was that 40 years ago? One teacher told our sister station both students and staff are burned out from a 5-day school week.
Nice to have that flexibility.